my settler friend. Did I not say that we'd meet again? Ah, don't be like that. I'm probably the dwarf who wants to see thee win the most in all of Belleron. I've heard a lot about thy performance in the tournament. Thou art the talk of the town. Quite a few dwarves are beginning to respect thee. Of course, many more are outraged. Thine abilities are forcing them to consider a terrible outcome. Oh, I wouldn't want to see the High King's face for a settler to be crowned champion.
That's a pity. We're going to win anyway.
Just what is it that drives thee on? I didn't give it any thought at first, but seeing ye within spitting distance of victory, it has me a little concerned. If it's not for the artifact, then what are ye fighting for?
If you've got information on our opponent's merchant, then tell us. If you haven't, then please leave. Our agreement isn't going to change.
Ah, no need to be so testy. I'm just curious. As long as you don't plan on assassinating the High King or anything like that, then I couldn't give a frostbear's fart what you're up to. As for information on your opponents, I'll have it for you in a jiffy. The semi-finalists won't be pushovers like the last few rounds. They're all considered heroes in Belleron. I wouldn't underestimate them. After so many matches, I presume your weapons are a little worse for wear? There's a village of blacksmiths nearby. I've already told them about you, and they're willing to repair your equipment. Oh, don't worry. They didn't want to fight in the settler war, so they came to work for me. Those blacksmiths all fought in the War of the Last Snows. They're no enemy of the settlers. If you're not convinced, you can go talk to them first before you decide. By my ancestors, I'll have the information you need on your opponent soon enough. Everything I do it for ye.
Your Grace, I once asked Goodwell about the War of the Last Snows. The battle against the Frost Dragon forged a deep friendship between settlers and dwarves. We witnessed that friendship for ourselves in Forgetown. It's the kind of friendship where a settler wouldn't think twice about risking their life to protect a dwarven blacksmith. It reminds me of Tamaris, after the Night of Burning Stars. But that's why I'm confused. Why do most of the dwarves we meet all hate settlers so much?
Because they're convinced it was the settlers who first broke the oath. Cadwallader could never forgive an oathbreaker. It would besmirch the honor of every single dwarf.
As great an insult as plucking the beards right off their faces.
Forgive me, Your Grace. Every race has their own... Well, we all have our flaws. Both those we hate and those we love. Many dwarves gave their lives to protect settlers in the War of the Last Snows. The bravery they showed back then is much like the anger they have now. Both are products of who we are as a people. Trust me, once this misunderstanding is all cleared up, thou will grow to love us.
I don't know about that. But that was quite a rousing speech there, Goodwall. Hast thou ever thought of going into business? Oh, naturally. Menez be my witness. I never disappoint a client. I have some good news and some less good news about thine opponent. The bad news is that he's a senior military officer with years of combat experience and a well-stocked arsenal to boot. The good news is that he served under Goodwall.
Aye, Your Grace. At least he was once my subordinate. His name's Dodgewall. He was just a kid when he joined my unit. But the War of the Last Snows made him grow up fast. Today, he's one of Mermont's finest commanders. Dojwal was young and impetuous. He couldn't understand my neutrality in the Settler War. But he's a kind and loyal lad. Even when I was stripped of my power, he refused to cut me off completely. I still receive the occasional letter.
Sounds like an opponent worthy of respect.
In fact, I got one just this morning. He heard that we're pretty close, so wrote to make his position clear. He'll do his best to win. He won't pull any punches on my account.
Ah, the boy's got rocks for brains.
He also expressed quite an interest in thee. He's heard tell of thy legendary exploits in Tamaris. He can't wait to meet thee.
A pleasure to meet ye.
Hmm? Oh, I've just stopped expecting politeness by this point. Nice to meet you, Dojwal.
Seems you've heard who I am. As it happens, I've heard some things about ye too. Your deeds in Tamaris are legendary. Ye even defeated a flame dragon. Ye arrived in Belleron not long ago. And you've been doing some good deeds. Like purifying the berserker beasts. They were giving the city guards a right headache. Of course, you've also been up to other things. Causing trouble for the dwarves. Making trouble at the tournament registration. Injuring guards. That sort of thing. And you're not known for going easy on your opponents. Aye, well, so has the High King. You've even stuck your oars into the Settler War. Apparently, settlers from all three factions are practically cheering thy name, what with all thy victories. Perhaps that's why thou entered in the first place.
You fought in the War of the Last Snows, Dojwal. It wasn't even that long ago. We don't want to see settlers and dwarves coming to blows. I'm sure you don't either.
Still, the settlers broke their oath. Your envoys covet the High King's power, but every single dwarf would die to defend it.
Goodwall's the only dwarf we've met who wasn't convinced that the settlers broke the oath. But please, try to remember. What exactly did they do? Your king claims they coveted his crown. That's just his side of the story. The dense mist shrouds the throne, Dojwal.
Mist shrouds the throne? Thou means... I know naught of what thou speaks. The arena's no place for time wasting.
Could this be of use to our...
For the forest! Where is it this time? I've got to get back.
They'll write songs about that one.
Seems I underestimated thee after all.
You're a worthy opponent, Dojwal. If every fight was like this one, We might not stand a chance.
Thank you. I rarely get a chance to speak to my opponent on the battlefield. But what thou said just now about the mist shrouding the throne, was Goodwall the one who said that? He was also my mentor. I've always looked up to him. I heard him say something similar when Frostfall first happened. At the time, his neutrality made me furious.
We understand. The dwarves thought settlers were their friends. It's no wonder their betrayal provoked such anger. But Douchewall, have you ever considered another possibility? Perhaps the settlers were never the ones who broke the oath.
That's one possibility, sure. After I'd calmed down, I thought about what Goodwall said, and I realized that there's something odd about this whole thing. The High King is a very different man today compared to the War of the Last Snows. It's not like I haven't thought about what ye said, but it's still only a possibility. It's not reason enough to turn against the High King, is it?
Goodwall once told me his thoughts on loyalty. You should know how he feels. After Frostfall, some people thought he was a traitor, but if he was doing it for his friends who had lived and died with him, the ones who had fought by his side, he could do what he thought was right, despite all his doubts. You've seen war firsthand, Douchewall. I know you can find the same strength that he did.
Ugh, all this talk is making my head hurt. I need some time to reflect on what you've said. But, no matter what, I'm happy to have met you today. I've looked forward to this fight for a long time.
As have we. Your Grace, that's...
Stay firm in the face of danger.
All part of the plan.
I await your orders.
Shall we pick up the pace? As you command. I shall make my way back. My dear, dear settler friend, now's not the time to daydream.
What's got you so anxious, Blaze?
Menas be my witness, I have never been so anxious in all my life. This morning, I walked all the way from the west wing of my courtyard to the east wing. I've wasted half the day already. My dear, dear settler friend, thou still has a mind to jest? Oh, my poor heart can't take much more of this. Once more, the artifact has slipped through my fingers.
What exactly has happened, Blaze? We're this close to being crowned champions. We just need to win the final, and the artifact's yours.
Oh, the final! The final! It can't be. It can't.
The High King couldn't have disqualified us, could he?
No. The High King wouldn't openly flout the rules of the tournament. It's just that I've heard who you'll be facing in the final. Animal Lulu. Oh, a frost giant! A frost giant capable of wiping out 10-fold dwarven legions!
I've heard a few things about frost giants before. They can wield powerful ice magic, which makes for a terrifying battlefield. Soldiers crushed by huge snowballs. Sharp icicles rising from the earth. They can decimate entire legions. When you factor in their size and bulk, they're veritable killing machines.
My dear settler friends, in truth, I am but a humble businessman. Gold, artifacts. I've always loved anything that glitters and gleams. But even businessmen have principles. I do not wish to see you sacrifice your lives. Our agreement is hereby concluded. I'll go and say we forfeit.
You remind me of an old friend, Blaze. A merchant's got to have a code, she'd always say.
But why? You don't care about the artifact. You clearly don't care about your lives. So what do you want the championship for? If you're here to vent your fury on behalf of all settlers, you've clearly accomplished your goal. All your friends?
That's right. For our friend Keller, and Goodwall's friend Mermont. And for all the friendships forged in the War of the Last Snows. We're going to change the High King's view of settlers and end this war.
My settler friends. Perhaps you've decided to pay no heed to someone like myself. But your words just now made mine own heart of stone tremble. Only a little, mind. You're very welcome, Your Grace. The next match will be more intense than the last 10 combined. May Cadwaladar protect you. I've heard that Goodwall has experience fighting frost giants. Perhaps ye could seek his advice. May your good hearts bring ye good luck.
Goodwall's back, Your Grace. I've told him that we're up against a frost giant in the final.
Frost giants make formidable opponents, Your Grace. But if it's Lulu you face, then you needn't worry too much.
Is that the frost giant's name?
Yes. Thousands of years ago, during the first dragon attacks, the frost giants became allies of the dwarves. They might be large, but they're gentle. They can even tolerate the famously short temper of the average dwarf. But after Frostfall, we discovered frost giants just wandering out in the wilderness. They seemed like they'd lost their minds. They turned extremely aggressive and were wielding powerful ice magic like they did in ancient times. There are some similarities, now that thou mentions it. When Blaze was talking about frost giants who could wipe out 10 dwarven legions, he meant the wandering kind. They put our city defenses to the test every now and then. They're a right headache to handle.
So, what about Lulu?
Aye, Lulu's much the same. But he's only a wee nipper by frost giant standards. He's not really got the hang of the whole ice magic thing. Won't hit you with anything too nasty. Maybe it's just because of his age, but Lulu's quite a bit calmer than the wandering adult frost giants. He's practically a contributing member of Dwarven society. To a degree. Didn't think he'd be entering the Tournament of Champions, though. So aye, by frost giant standards, he's only a kid.
Only a child.
Even so, Lulu's still very strong. Most Dwarven legions are no match for his power. Back when the soldiers first discovered him, they must have accidentally done something to provoke him. He flew into a rage, kept the city defenders busy for 3 days straight. They only finally managed to calm him down by building snowmen with him.
The final will be a difficult battle. At least the spectators will get their money's worth.
Also, I've brought something for thee, Your Grace. Unfortunately not. Nothing to do with frost giants. But I think it'll be equally effective. Poor wee lass had been crying when I saw her. Her nose was all red. She kept asking me how you were, even while she was writing the letter.
Oh, Keller. We really miss her too.